And the land Muziris is the name of the ancient port where the Romans and the Greeks and the Arabs and the Armenians and all these people, Jews, everybody came to this port 2000 years ago.
What was it called?
Huh?
The name of it?
Muziris. Muziris is the name of the port.
Three religions.
Huh?
Sorry, what language is Muziris?
Muziris is originally the name given by the Greeks and the Romans to the port. The local name is different. Three religions came to India through this port. Islam is supposed to have come there in the 7th century. And Judaism was there 2000 years ago. And Christianity also. It is believed that one of the 12 apostles came to Kerala, St. Thomas. So that is also there. The first mosque in India is in this place. The first synagogue in India is here. The oldest European monument is there. And some of the school seminaries and Catholic churches. It is mentioned, the port is mentioned in the Periplus of the Erythraean Sea, which is 1st century Christian era. It is mentioned by Pliny in Natural History book, which is 177 AD. It is mentioned by Ptolemy as one of the bustling ports which is coming in 150 AD. It is mentioned in our literature also, Aganaryu, which is 3rd century BC. It says that the Greeks used to come with gold and literally take back pepper because Europeans need pepper. And Kerala was the source of pepper and Muziris was the port. So they had to come. And Muziris is marked in the 4th century AD map which is kept in the Vienna Museum. The map is very big. I'm showing only a tip of it. The Muziris is there. And there is a temple of Augustus also supposed to be there. We don't know where the temple of Augustus is. The port disappeared in the 14th century due to floods or tsunami. We don't know what it is. And Kochi port surfaced in the 14th century. So Kochi has only six centuries. And we have so many ports where we traded with so many people, so many countries, and that is what has happened. And this was the old route, the Roman. They came through the thing, came to Alexandria. And from Alexandria, it was a land route to Coptus, to Bernike, to Muziris. And they were stopped on the way in various places. So that is the history which goes. And in 1452, Constantinople fell and the land route was blocked. And the Europeans had to find a way to get to pepper. And that is how they started all these maritime expeditions. Columbus landed in America thinking that it was India. Vasco da Gama was the first European to find a way to India in 1498 AD. He set off the journey in 1497. It is the project launched by the Kerala government because the port has disappeared, but some of the excavations reveal some aspects of the port, and we wanted to launch this port. Conservation of heritage is the primary objective, and heritage and conservation and history is driving this project. Setting up museums, we have 8 museums which are open to the public now, and it's only a part of the overall project, only a minor component. Conservation is the primary. Community is involved in setting up the museum. We have huge programs where we link with the community, and the community collects the objects for the museums. Donate objects, collect the objects, and that is what is happening in the project. The project is only 3 years old. 2008, we started working on the project, but inaugurated in 2016 by the President of India. So 8 museums are open. We are planning to open another 10 museums. The product has a strong academic and research content. Professor Ayutthaya is a historian. He has been appointed as the director of the Institute for the Study of Coastal Heritage, and this is the research center. Is a new building which has been established. Naushad, the office of the Muziris project, is functioning from this building. There is a tremendous thrust on non-formal education as part of this project. Kerala government is a small, tiny state on the southwest coast. We don't have much money. Our per capita income is lower than the average per capita income of the Indian thing. So you know, but still we work on the tremendous thrust is given to this. So we wanted to tell our future generation what has happened, because this is taken from the Greenwich Maritime Museum. 1603, 1 million pounds of pepper was imported into here, 1 million pounds. In 1665, 2.2 million pounds, and 1677 it became 8 million pounds, and this is equivalent to 10,700,000 pounds. So you can just see the amount of trade which happened. Our generation is going without any knowledge of this know-how. Yesterday we talked about the textiles. Britain imported textiles costing 46,494 pounds, and they sold it in Britain for 3,11,000. So you know they made almost 6 times, 7 times. And in today's money, it is worth 39 million pounds profit. So you can just imagine the kind of trade and the kind of profit that the British East India Company which made. But in 1750, they imported 11 million yards. India was a major exporter of cotton and textiles, which was evident in the trade. In 1750, 11 million yards of cotton was imported in the UK, but they destroyed the handloom and cotton industry in India. In 1850, Britain exports 1,358 million yards. You can just imagine 100 times is their export. The textile mill factories which has been established, now they are all closed. We donated so many words to the British from the British and the Portuguese and things. But we gave one word to the British in the British English language also, which is called loot. It is a Hindustani word, Indian word, which has become a part of the British thing. Some of the Dutch languages, we have kapoes, which is a toilet. And there is another Dutch one, apothecary, which is there, tapal, which is for post. There are some, I'm not going into that bit. We have museum, we have exam, we wanted to know 1920s, how money came, the caste system. You might have heard about the caste system, people in division, there were not only the difference in money, there were, and we want to do this for the future generation. This is the stone weights, which is still used in temples. This is an older log system. Because we are not doing it, we want to showcase our history to our generation. I don't want to do that. This is where the Ayurvedic medicines, which is a traditional Indian system of medicine, is ground. And this is an old toilet before the advent of the British toilet system. We had a toilet system in the exhibitor. Now you can see the 2 steps and the hole there. And this is where the grinding system. As I said, non-formal education is our thing. School children come. This is one of the palaces, and this is one of the synagogues. We have 3 synagogues in the area. 2 synagogues have been converted into museums, which is functioning now. This is one of the synagogues, and this is we have found the remains of Roman excavation in one of the sites, and that is what triggered the Muziris Heritage. This is a temporary museum. New building is being constructed. You can see we were able to find a lot of Roman amphora, Mediterranean pottery, and this is one of the biggest hall in India so far, what we have found. So we exhibited those things temporarily. You can see for 500 era, 2500 era. So we found these evidences of these materials excavated in Muziris. Various sites, not one site. We have excavated in various places, and this is again the pottery which has been exhibited, and these are the 2 beads. It was a major beads center. So these are the 2 stones, I think carnelian, I'm not very sure, but the size is this much. You enlarge the printer, you find this is a lion which is carved, and this is a Greek goddess which is carved on the bead. So it was considered to be a major bead center. And this is the Palian Dutch Palace, which is the Cochin Prime Minister's official residence. And this is you can find the steep roof and the sash windows. But the ground floor is very traditional in Kerala. This is before and after conservation. And now it has been, you can see the sash windows converted into a museum which talks about the history of the Cochin royal family and the relationship with the Portuguese, Dutch and the British. And we had to strengthen with steel beams. And this is the before and after. And this is the old storeroom where they used to store the guns and swords. We have raised the floor, lowered the floor. And we have put the TV things there. Some of the things are exhibited. We have exhibited the lamps, these are the bells. And there's a new block which we try to match with it, which has been constructed, which has the toilets, including physically handicapped toilets and food and a small office which functions. This is the Prime Minister's bedroom. We have put you can see the TV screens, and this is how the family. This is a synagogue. I have 8 museums. All 8 museums have come up in old buildings. This is a synagogue. This was used as a toilet, and you can see we have just changed it with the grills. This was used as this was used as a kitchen, and the first floor had toilets, and which we restored. It was encroachment because all the Jews have gone back to Israel. Although 3 synagogues are in this area, not even a single Jewish family is living in that area. Again, conservation has happened. I mean, this is how we did excavation. We found the remains of an older synagogue. And this is another elevation of the synagogue. And this is the stage 2007. When I visited the place, you can see the chandeliers. And the original Heikel, instead of the altar in Christian churches, is called the Ark or the Heikel. I mean, this was fixed with the bathroom tiles. So we started searching for where the original Heikel could have been, and we found this old photograph of the same synagogue where the Heikel is there. And if you look at that, the Heikel is sitting in Jerusalem Museum, and it is not Jewish heritage alone, it's Kerala's heritage, it is India's heritage, and we know that we will not get it back if you ask them. If you look at the Koganur diamond, it is sitting in UK. If you look at the peacock horn, it's sitting in UK. If you look at the best museum art collections, it's sitting in the British Museum or the Berlin Museum or the Smithsonian Museum. It's same for the all our countries. It is the same. So we got the photographs, we got the drawing. How when they smuggled, I would like to, when they were looted out of the country or smuggled out of the country. I mean, this was the drawing which they have made. We took the looked at the photograph. We made a drawing of it because we know that we are never going to get it back. Our craftsmen started working on it. One of the advantages of India is that craftsmanship is still alive, and we did it, and we did that 18 feet high Heikel. And if you go to the thing, we have just setting up the museums, and you can see the original Heikel, replica of the original Heikel in its place, because we wanted to recreate it back. And this is all these were painted, it was as I said, encroached, and none of the chandeliers are there, because by the time we took over, it was encroachment. All the chandeliers, which would have cost at least Indian rupees 3 million, not 3 million, it would have cost 30 million Indian rupees have been stolen. And the thief who has stolen it did not know the antique value. He took the brass out of it and sold it. He would have got 10,000 Indian rupees. So which means, it's time that we educate the thieves on how these, the antique value of this heritage. This is part of the synagogue. This is a fort which is originally constructed by the Portuguese, took over by the Dutch, and then the Dutch sold it to the local Maharaja. This is a 1709 map. When we got it, we found very little of what use evidence, because it was covered. And you can just see it was in shambles. The battle where the Dutch defeated the Portuguese happened in this place, and that ended the Portuguese rule in India. Their domination over the Indian Ocean trade happened, and we were conserved the forts, removed all the vegetation, and we excavated. You see, up to here it was covered with, you can see here, it's covered with earth. We removed it, we did studies, archaeologists did it, and so these are all part of the history of the Cochin Prime Minister and the Dutch, and then we want to deal with the history of the ordinary people, and also, so we, even for one museum we are going to set up, we are looking at the famine which has happened during the Second World War. I mean, I was shocked. I never believed that such a thing could have happened in Kerala, which is the health standard is similar to that of a US citizen. It is happening. But this was a photograph taken in 1943, and in persons like that. I couldn't imagine. Now you see these photographs of Nigeria and African countries, but such an incident happened here. We are just collecting, because we have a research team working on it, on each of the museums, because we are in the process of setting up 15 museums, building construction or conservation work is going on as part of it. This was a cartoon which we collected, which is Travancore was the old name of the princely state before India got the freedom. So this happened in 1943. So why doesn't somebody cry for us also? Amma. Amma means mother. I mean, whereas, when the disaster happens, the disaster goes to only certain areas. Certain areas are completely neglected, no aid, or nobody looks after those areas. So we're just trying to, so we want to set up a Freedom Fighters Museum as well. We are not only looking at 2,000-year-old history, the government has taken a decision that 40-year-old history also matters. So Freedom Fighters. So we just got who got out of this photograph. We took the thing, we have taken interviews with the persons, the freedom fighters. If we had done this project 10 years ago, we would have got 200 freedom fighters, but now we are able to get only 35 freedom fighters, because India got freedom in 1947. This person passed away 3 weeks ago, and we looked at the old files, because according to we looked at the Alleppey, we are doing a port, we looked at the government, they said they destroyed all the records, because as per the rules, they have to store only 15 years of records. The government destroys records which is more than 15 years. We looked at this in 1972. We wrote to the National Archives in Netherlands and asked them what scanner should be put. They sent us specification of the scanner, but to buy that we need 8 million Indian rupees, which is beyond our budget. So what we spent is 1/100th of it, bought the scanners, bought multiple scanners. People started trying to scan and those scanners are not available in India. So you can see people scanning the records, volunteers coming and scanning the records. Because for us, we know the time is running out. We have a huge heritage to be conserved thing. So because we are not working with funding or any of those things. So we found this is a prison record, and this is a record which they have given application. We find baptism records. We have digitized huge lot. I mean, it's something which is, all these history that we are trying to document is beyond the archives and beyond the government departments or museums. So this is the baptism records. We want to produce knowledge. That is the aim of the project, which we are doing. This is one of the writers whose manuscripts which are unpublished are kept like this. So we just went, asked his family to donate to the project. We just took over in trying to do that. And this is when we were searching the America, we found an account book which had a lock. The first time I'm seeing it, I don't know whether any of you, this is in a British company which is locked. And after the British manager left in 1972, that room has always been kept locked. Full of records dumped into this thing. So we're just trying to get the knowledge. We found some of the mosques in Kerala which were there, but all these mosques have been converted into minarets and domes, and because of the money coming from the Gulf. So these, I mean, some of these mosques have been discovered, but these were photographs taken by a British scholar. And we were trying to produce fire is one of the products which were exported, especially to Netherlands. Yarn was exported, and these were handmade machines at that time, which we call rats. And the middle one we are not able to find. So in 1970s, mechanization came, and then all these rods. Otherwise, each village or each region had a particular kind of way. One of the products we are using for the museum in the box tomorrow is the kaya product which we are using. And each of these areas, different types of yarns and different types of sub-yarns. And we wanted to document this because 1970s, this technology mechanized and there is no. And we wanted, and we were able to find only 11 types of yarns to be made out of the 15 yarns. We are still looking for people. We want to share knowledge, which is very important for the project. We looked at as I said, Vasco da Gama. We don't know how Vasco da Gama looked like. What is the statue? When we went to the Lisbon Maritime Museum, we put his photograph, and he had a portable altar in which he came. This is his chest, and this is every information in the Lisbon Maritime Museum or in the Greenwich Maritime Museum or the Hague Archives. We don't have any records or maps or any of those things, but we started this process. This is the Dutch East India Company. We had a Travancore Dutch War where we conquered one of the army generals of the Dutch army. I mean, the local Travancore prince defeated the Dutch. Battle happened in 1741. The Dutch army general became the Travancore's commander in army. And this is Illinois. I'm not going to, I just wanted to say more, but because of the lack of time, he helped us build forts and canals and some of the towns. Because all these British commanders were British, all these Dutch commanders were engineers also. I mean, there were no separate engineering people who came as part of it. I mean, so he helped. This is the Kranano Fort where I showed we are trying to clean up and restore some of those things. This is which is taken in 1630 by the Portuguese. This was, according to the old record, there are 7 churches there. Only 1 church is remaining now. But this is an older sketch of the same thing. This is the 1662 when immediately after the, might be a Dutch painting, Pranganur, you can see. Yesterday one Malacca old painting was shown, it similarly had a very, very similar, same artist would have done that painting also, which is that. This is 1662, this is 1672 view of the same fort. This is again taken in 1709, and we have collected from the Dutch archives about 45 maps and drawings of the fort. I mean, it is there in the Lisbon, archives or in the, this is a 1785, and one major work which is connected with the Dutch history is the Hortus Malabaricus, which is published in 12 volumes. The original is kept in Leiden University. We recently got translated it into Malayalam. And if you can look at this, it's a best famous book on taxonomy which was written in the 19th century. If you can just see the Nellica Philanthus Embolica, which you were telling, Najib was telling, this is there. It's mentioned in this. So all this taxonomy, which was in the 19th century, all the trees, starts with the coconut, is mentioned in this book. I'll show one more. One plant which is mentioned in the book is called Malabaricus Malacca shampoo. So you can just see, how the Malacca, the tree would have been brought from Malacca to Kerala. So the name they would have given. Many of the botanical names of many of these Indian or the Kerala species or trees or plants are the local name. The Moringa, which we call, which is a vegetable which it will be called Moringa elanthika, something like that. They used to make it like that. So it is interesting to learn this history. This is that Malacca. I don't know whether Malacca shampoo. This is the tree, which is one. You might be able to find it out, kind of thing. Yeah. Anyway, this is the 1662 agreement between the Dutch Governor General and the British and the Cochin Prime Minister, original. I'm not displaced, it runs into more pages. We thought the battle happened in 1663, but the Dutch archives told us that it happened in 1662 because of the because the agreement says that the war has happened and there is an agreement. And we have a conservation lab for the Muziris project because we don't want to be part of the existing department. We kind of conserve objects for our museums within us. We have some conservators, material conservators working on it. There's a huge community involvement. We have volunteers for the project. There's 78 volunteers were there taken initially. And we have this chapel. It looks like a painting. It comes in a historic area. You can say we were scared to send this should be demolished in a historic area, so we've painted it white. But if you go there now, you can see this building. You can just see. See this building. The original, the modern building has been demolished and replica has been collected. So there is a case when historic buildings are demolished. Here we find people going back to the thing, and we have the oldest mosque in India. The mosque people say 629 AD. Historians say it is 1048 AD. This is an older photograph of the mosque, but the mosque is with the minarets and the domes and steel and concrete and everything. But the mosque has decided to restore it back to its original form. Which is again we find a nice thing, part of the project. This was how another old photograph of the mosque, how it looked like. And this is what we are planning to do. These were the 3D visuals which is done onto how to restore the mosque. So this is how the interior, because the problem is that it's the Juma Masjid. 2,000 people used to worship there on a Friday. And when you demolish all the ugly additions, capacity will come down to 300. So we have decided to do a basement which is going to be added into the thing. And this work is Muziris Heritage. This is going to be inaugurated on 10th, 2009, restoration of the Juma Masjid by the Honorable Governor of Kerala. So this is happening. So all these works are happening as part. We have a museum in the city. This is one of the areas where you can see the markets, and gunny bags have disappeared. Only plastic bags are there where market and trading activities happen. You can just note this building. And we are just conserved the building. We have people working with the community. We are not, as I said, we look at the city planning, we look at the normal, ordinary person's house. This is something which is looking like this now. Something which used to look like this is looking like this now. And this waterfront area, we are just converted we have converted an amphitheater. People have taken over the spaces. Programs are happening there. And we have painted the walls of the market, modern buildings with all these painting, and people are still painting with the old buildings which is happening. And the quick thing, Alappuzha, which is a Dutch town, Dutch engineers have helped us. We are trying to find out where the records are happening. It's canals, road, similar to the Batavia which has been shown earlier, and you have the factories and houses along the things. This is the state of the canals, very dirty. It is like a drain. Nothing could be, full of waste dumping. And something which we entered into an ambitious project of cleaning up the canals. Something which looked like this is looking like this now. Yeah. And we are emptying the water and desilting, and we have to do the retaining wall again. And now the water has been cleaned. People have started fishing once it has become a drain, is now looking. And sorry. You can see people doing fishing and people have started swimming in the water. And next February, we have invited the Dutch ambassador to come, and our Chief Minister of Kerala and the Dutch ambassador will jointly devote these canals back to the people of Ayutthaya as part of them. Now, just 10 more minutes, we'll just finish it.